Politics, commentary, entertainment, sports, news, and opinion now. Here is Steve Malzberg.
All right, folks, there he is. Sliding out. You were kind enough, the folks heard you. That was Willie Randolph at an old-timers game at Yankee Stadium, just electrifying the crowd, sliding into second base when you were injured. What made you do it? Welcome.
Good to see you, Steve.
So good
been
to
a long
see
time,
you.
man.
It has been.
We go way back.
Congratulations on the book, Willie Randolph, The Yankee Way, Playing, Coaching, and My Life in Baseball, and it's a thrill to have you here, and it's a great book. I read it. My son has started reading it now, and I don't know if I should call you Mickey or not. We'll get to that in a second. But okay, so what made you slide into? You just thought of it spur of the moment?
Yeah, it's just a spur of the moment thing. You know, we all kind of miss playing the game, and I thought there was a good opportunity to kind of get dirty again. You know, my uniform always stayed dirty, and I told some of the guys before I went out that I was going to do it, and they dared me. Oh, you're not going to do it, and I'm crazy. But people know me as just loving to have fun, so I did it, and my knee swelled up after that, so I'll never do it again. Yeah, I came down pretty hard, but it was a good pop-up slide. I got my uniform dirty, so it was all good.
Have you washed the uniform, or did you keep it dirty?
No, I just folded it up and kept it, put it away. Yeah.
All right, what made you finally, you know, at this point in your career, put it down in words?
Well, as you know, Steve, I've been in baseball just about all my life. I signed out of high school in 1972.
Tilden in Brooklyn.
It was a nice school. Yeah, went to Pittsburgh Pirates. You obviously got the honor of playing with the Yankees in 1976, and I've been through a lot of 4 decades actually of just New York baseball in general, from the championships to the All-Star games to the great moments, the ups and downs. So it gave me an opportunity. I just thought that, be an opportunity to maybe just share that with my fans all over the country, fans in general, just be inspiration and somewhat motivational, because if you look at my story, it's not totally rags to riches, but, I came from humble backgrounds.
Sure.
Played in the Sandlots of Brooklyn, New York, dreamed about being a major league player one day, and that came to fruition for me in a big way. And not only just the fact that I managed the Mets, and I was a Met fan as a kid growing up. 69 Mets got us caught up. I was more of a National League fan, so that's really why I was more of a National League. Because people say all the time, well, you're a Yankee. And yeah, but as a kid, 8 or 9 years old, that's where I was all about. And then later on, being one of 8 Yankee captains in the history of the team, another tremendous honor.
You and Ron Guidry together,
yes,
correct?
It's a great story to me, and I just wanted to share a lot of my stories, a lot of the players I've been around, from Don Mattingly to Jeter to all the great players I've been around.
Not only did you win rings with the Yankees playing, and you talk about 76, and we'll see a video from that in a minute, but then you were on the bench at coaching at third base, and coaching on the bench with Joe Torre through those years and those championships. How many rings total?
Well, I've had total 10 World Series rings, but 6 World Championship rings, because when you win a World Championship, even if you lose, you get an American League Championship ring. So I'm proud of all of them. They're all very special.
You're close. You were close to Yogi.
I'm getting close to Yogi. Yeah, back then they didn't have the layer of playoffs.
Right. It was just one.
And Yogi has the most World Championship rings.
Yeah, 10. I think.
I told Yogi, I told him I'm going to catch him one day, but I don't know. That's pretty special.
And you'll be at the Yogi Berra Museum, I think, tomorrow.
Yes, I'll be there with Yogi and the guys.
Yeah, that's very exciting as well.
Yes.
Managing the Mets, the first black manager, which really seems inconceivable.
Yeah, it does.
In New York, Yankees Mets, first black manager ever. There's been one who followed you, one since. The question that everybody asks you, and it's kind of like when I was between jobs, people say, well, why aren't you working? And it's like, I don't know. I want to, and I hate asking that question to somebody. But man, I mean, you were so successful with the Mets. You took them, and only manager in their first 2 years to make a 12-game improvement in each of the first 2 years
in the history of baseball. Yes.
I mean, there are some pretty bad managers out there.
I don't know. It's hard to say. It's a $1 million question for me. Actually, when I got fired by the Mets, I went to Milwaukee for 2 years as a coach, and Baltimore for 1. So I wanted to keep
third base,
working.
right? Were you third base?
Actually, I was the bench coach for both of those teams.
Okay.
I did 13 years with the Yankees at third base, 2 years with Showalter before Joe took over.
Right.
But I just wanted to keep my face out there and keep working. And I just don't really understand why the opportunity hasn't come. I'll be patient a little longer and see how it plays out. But it's a lot of guys out there want to work, and there's been a lot of new general managers that have come into the mix with a lot of the sabermetric guys that have come in. So maybe they'll look at my resume and see that maybe I can help them in some way.
A lot of guys get a bad rap for a legitimate reason. I mean, I guess it could happen for an illegitimate reason, but I've never heard anybody say a bad word about you, and the way you were treated by the Mets. I mean, infuriated me. I'll just speak for myself. Infuriated me to fly you out to California in 2008 on a West Coast trip, and then after the first game of the trip where you win,
we win the game,
they fire you. I mean, what kind of bush? I mean, I just thought that was bushy. You don't have to say anything, but my point is, I don't know anybody who says, "Oh, Willie Randolph." Nah, I mean, you're the nicest guy in the world, and you're a damn good manager. Maybe
that's not the way it works. A lot of times, it's who you feel comfortable around. And again, like I said, I'm not making excuses for anyone because it still shouldn't be the case. At one time, I had a lot of interviews when I was going for the first job, but lately it's kind of dried up. And maybe it's just because there's a lot of new faces out there. Maybe they're trying to change the game in some way. It's an excellent question, but I'll just look at the positive sides of where I've been and just look forward to positive things in the future.
There's a lot of talk recently in baseball about a paucity of black players. A lot of Hispanic players, of one ethnicity or another, but black players. Now, to me, interest is waning, I guess, amongst black kids when it comes to playing baseball. Do I see that as a bad thing as a fan? No. I mean, it's like, to me, when they say there's no black firefighters, well, blacks don't want to be firefighters, and okay, they don't want to be firefighters. But do you see that as problematic? And if so, how do you remedy that?
Well, I think we need about 4 hours to talk about that. It's a very broad subject, a lot of different reasons why that comes into play. A lot of it's socioeconomic, a lot of it's the fact that the kids have all these different other outlets to deal with. They can't get off the computer and get outside and play stickball like we did when we were kids. And in the inner city is things like single-family homes. Again, there's a lot of reasons for it. The bottom line is that I think that we can all do a better job collectively in baseball and in the states in general with having facilities for the kids to play in. Because when I go back to the old neighborhood, Steve, I don't see ballparks where, I'm not talking about really mausoleums are really nice, but it's just a place where you can put your nose down on a ground ball, don't have to worry about a ball bouncing in your face, rounding first base, and don't trip in a hole. You just have to maintain the fields, and I think they'll come a little bit more. That's just one part of it. But I just think that we all need to do better with building these academies, not only in the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, but build those same academies here. And they're starting to do that in Major League Baseball. They have RBI group that's been around for years. But I think still we can do a little bit more. But maybe it's a part of a cultural thing too, where kids want to get that pot of gold quickly. In basketball and football, you can go 1 or 2 years and get there.
It's a long
grind, and kids don't want to be patient nowadays.
We're going to come back with more Willie Randolph in segment number 2. We have some more video for you. We're also going to talk about many of the things he has seen in his days with the Yankees and with the Mets and in Major League Baseball, and maybe get in a question or two about today's players versus yesterday's players and instant replay. But we only have like 6 minutes to do it, so I don't know how I'm going to do it. We're coming back on the Steve Malzberg Show. Don't go away.